that true and accurate, what you say there?
Il s'agit de quoi là? Parce que
What are we really talking about? I really need to know precisely what we are talking about.
Now that you had this meeting at the État-Major,
oui, Monsieur le Président.
Yes, Mr. President.
Maître Altit.
Merci, monsieur.
Mr. Alti, thank you, Mr. President. In the same vein as yourself, why not ask the question directly to the witness? Why use that procedure? Ask him a specific question today rather than using the statement, because we are in a testimony here. I'm not going to say more, but I think you understand what I mean.
You mean, but it was asked, and he said, well, it might have been that we had, but he didn't recall, and when he was interviewed, he recalled, and if the question now is only if if he recalls better now, but nothing more and nothing less.
Do you recall a meeting with the President on the 12th of January at the presidential residence?
Certainement, mais je me...
Certainly, but I no longer remember. If you can assist me with precise facts.
Well, specifically, do you recall, I'm not here to give you the facts, I'm here to ask you to give evidence. So let me just ask you about the meeting, if you recall it, on the 12th of January at the residence. Who attended, please?
Je ne me souviens pas de...
I do not remember that meeting. I don't remember the meeting.
Okay, can I please have played, and I think the prosecution, well, in fact, I think, yes, the prosecution can deal with this. It's 00640110. It's a video, and the transcript's at 00861013. If the prosecution can take control of that.
From the interpreter, could counsel give us the line numbers, please?
It's page 1014 of the transcript, and it's lines 5 to 23. The timestamp is 00:03 to 03:47 and 05:0. It's on evidence 2. We can just play that.
Certainement, dans nos prochaines éditions. Hier, mercredi.
Yesterday, Wednesday, the President of the Republic, Laurent Gbagbo, had an exchange with the heads of the major commands of the National Army. Together, they examined the security situation of the country and took measures to ensure security for the country and Ivorians. Laurent Seri reports. This meeting of the head of state, President Gbagbo, with the high military authorities were of crucial importance in light of the scope of the attacks and violence perpetrated by armed individuals who are targeting defense and security and forces and members of the population who do not support them. The President of the Republic, Laurent Gbagbo, Supreme Commander of the Armies, received a report during the meeting and that the generals had with him at the staff headquarters. The commanders of the Navy, the Air Force, the Land Forces, Secors, Gendarmerie and Police, as well as Lieutenant General Philip Mangu, took measures to secure the territory and to put an end to the taking over of control of certain communes in Abidjan. This meeting was broadened to members of the government and particularly Prime Minister Gilbert Akengbo.
We'll leave it there. Do you recall being at this meeting?
Oui.
Yes.
Les problèmes de sécurité.
Security matters and the attacks that had become more and more frequent in Abobo.
Do you recall anything specifically that was said at the meeting by anyone? This one?
Ça, c'est des...
These are details that I may or may not remember.
All right, we'll leave it there. I want to move forward. January, still. Do you recall a meeting at the État-Major in January, specifically 20th of January, attended by Mr. Blégoudet, along with Richard Dacoury, Serge Cassi. We have footage. I'm not going to show that to you. It's 00640083 for the record. Do you yourself recall that meeting?
Oui.
Yes.
You testified in the last few days about a meeting with the generals attended by Seka, a relatively junior officer in the FDS. How did you react to this meeting attended by Mr. Blégoudet and these other two people?
Maître Altit.
Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Mr. Alti, thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, Your Honors, I have the French transcript in front of me, page 83, line 12. And my learned friend asked this question. For 3 days now, you have been talking about meetings of generals where Seka was present. He was a young officer. End of quote, Mr. President. Unless I'm mistaken, the witness has talked about only one meeting. So I do not want this question to mislead the witness or to lead him where he was not.
Yes, I can respond, and if Mr. Bugnon has the same complaint, the English was a meeting with the generals attended by Seka, so I can repeat the question, and then we can take it from there, unless there's an alternate point to be made by my friend.
No, we are talking about one meeting. If there's something else, Maitre Bugnon, otherwise we have to finish.
I don't know if my friend is thinking of an objection at this point, but can I just get on with it?
I don't know.
Mr. Bugnon, Mr. President, do I have the floor?
We are waiting.
Thank you. Mr. President, I want us to save time, but I do not agree with the way the question is worded. The insidious link that is made between a meeting in which Seka took place and the other meeting. And in fact, the witness could have been asked about the nature of the meeting. So the link that counsel is trying to make between a meeting in which Seka was present and he was an officer, and another meeting in which such a link exists.
I have not completely understood, but it's we are talking about one meeting where Seka was present. That is the meeting, and there to this meeting there is the question of the OTP.
Okay. I ask you about... Can I proceed?
Yes.
This meeting with Mr. Blé-Goudet, how did you feel about Mr. Blé-Goudet?
Was at that meeting where Seka was present, was also Mr. Blé-Goudet present?
No, I'm not drawing that link.
So
I want to ask him how he feels about Mr. Blé-Goudet attending this meeting at the État-Major.
yes, but what does you mean? What do you mean? What he feels? We're not talking about feelings here. We're talking about facts.
I want to ask him what his response was. He told us about a meeting and the response of the generals earlier to someone other than the generals attending a meeting at the État-Major. I want to know what he felt about this meeting with someone other than the generals coming to talk to him at the État-Major.
Was it, excuse me, let me rephrase. Was it a surprise to you that at this meeting somebody else, part of the generals, were present, meaning in this case referring to Mr. Blé-Goudet, and you referred to the meeting we saw the footage of. At the meeting we are referring to on the 12th of...
No, I skipped over it because I'm trying to save time.
Yes,
There's another meeting on the 20th of January. Your honours have seen it before. Mr. Blé-Goudet is present at the État-Major. It's that one.
Yes, you're right.
And I haven't shown it to the witness, in fairness to him.
Yes, that's why this confusion comes up. I think it's better to show it, and then we don't have a confusion. Otherwise, because also in the meeting we saw the footage of Mr. Blé-Goudet was present. So
he's accepted it happened, so I'm just going to leave it at that. The footage is on the record.
yes.
I'll move on. Now I want to stay in...
No, but there is... The question is withdrawn. So, is it right? Do I understand it like this? When you say we leave it at that?
Yeah, I'm not asking any more questions about this.
Yes, but if...
Mr. Bugnon, Mr. President, do I have the floor?
You have the floor, but the question was withdrawn. Tell us.
Monsieur le Président.
Mr. President, in where I come from, we can say, let us go slowly because we are in a hurry. She has just said everything is on record. We know that if we look at it 3-4 years from now, but he has taken it now as accepted that Mr. Charles Blé-Goudet, my client, had a meeting with the generals, but she would like to have a link between the fact that Mr. Seka Seka, an officer of the FDS, took part in a meeting and the generals reacted. And then what is his opinion? We do not ask for opinions here. We want facts. So they should show the video. And then it is said that the question is withdrawn, but it is already on record that Mr. Gbagbo took part in that meeting. So he wants to make a link between the meeting of the officers and the meeting in which Mr. Gbagbo took part. That link already exists. That is what I was talking about.
Is on the record. The video is on the record. It was played. Maybe my friend has forgotten. I don't want to ask about opinions anymore, but the meeting, the video is on the record. And it's, I think I want to save time. I'm not going to ask a follow-up question. That's my point. Thank you.
Maitre Bouillon, there are the videos. There is no artificial link to be drawn between anything. If Mr. Gbagbo was present, we see it from the video. There is no need to ask the witness if he was present, if we have it on the video, and there is no question as to what he feels about Mr. Gbagbo being present, because I think that's not relevant what he feels, and therefore I think we can proceed.
00640083. I don't ask for it. Just for the record, to remind my friend, you can check it out. Now, staying in February 2011, I want to bring up, please, 00450672. For my friends, it's item 159. And the evidence 1 should be the number on the control panel.